This is a like a cyberpunky film noir, like futuristic adventure. Yeah, it's a little Blade Runner, but yeah, it's developed by like a Polish studio called Critical Hit Games. I think this is their first title. I don't think they've done anything else. And effectively, you are living, or this game is set in a world where immortality is real. Like people can live forever, and you just get new bodies. They call them shells in this game. That's what you're seeing here. Is like the opening of the game where there's a fallouty, like everything is so. I don't know how would you describe it?
Dystopianly optimistic?
No, it's dystopian, but it's like 50s and 40s.
Oh, it's
retro-futuristic.
retrofuturistic.
Retro-futuristic, there you go. It's not 50s. I don't know why I said 50s. It's 100% like 20s. It's definitely 20s, America.
It's called Cyber Noir?
Cyber Noir. That's cool. That's cool. But yeah, you play as a detective called James Kara, and you have just got a new shell that is like you're not gelling with it, and there's like some issues you can see here. He's got the shakes. I don't think it's too spoilery. Like the shell before was a drug addict, so you're having to pop these pills. I don't think these are like drugs like that you get addicted to. This is to try and adjust to your new shell.
Sure.
It's. I mean, first of all, it looks incredible. It's so high fidelity. There's a fair bit of photorealistic stuff, even though it's super futuristic at the same time. And that's you can hear.
Is that you?
I did not. This is my footage. Will's gonna love that I left this in.
Do you blow your nose?
I blow my nose. I did not realize my mic was recording at home.
Oh my god!
Oh my God.
That is gold.
At this like point of like peak story setting and
yeah.
like scene a mood setting, and suddenly just
Exactly.
blowing.
Yeah.
And like,
Just like burp.
what really got me, and this moment's in the trailer as well, but you're about to see it here, I believe, where he opens the car door. That was the moment that I'm like, I'm gonna play this game.
Yeah.
I saw all of this. Like, you're seeing basically the opening couple of minutes of the game, but when he opens the door here, and what you see is Times Square in New York in 2329, the year 2329, right here.
Oh, wow.
It is just, you cannot see, it looks like you might be able to see the road on the floor. There is no, like, there's no, you can't see the
There's no
ground,
bottom.
and
Yeah.
and it goes up as far as you can see as well in the game.
Beautiful.
It's crazy.
This looks stunning. Is what style of game are we talking here? It's like a detective game, but it's first person.
Correct. First person, and it's dialogue heavy, like conversational choices, and then you're just
I would say it's a narrative puzzle game.
narrative puzzle game. It's sorry.
No shooting.
No
No
shooting.
shooting.
Or at least not yet.
Yeah.
Maybe there's story-based, like timed event shooting, maybe later on. But you can see some of the dialogue options and stuff here. Basically, you since you have just got a new shell, you are off work. Like they're not giving you any cases or anything like that. But you get a call from the police chief who wants to put you on like something not on the books.
God damn that chief.
Because you want to work. That's your only like motivation to do anything. Is to solve cases and. Yeah, there's a whole backstory. Which,
You're a grimy detective in a noir world. That's all you do.
That is what it is, and it's gorgeous, and the music is so good. The voice acting is really good as well. This is the first time you go to the first crime scene, and it just looks.
It's spectacular. It looks gorgeous, but it just has nailed tone, and like it's all those things you've set up beautifully, but it isn't half doing noir.
No.
The writing is exceptional.
Yeah.
I am not often like I love video game storytelling. Multiple times, this character has delivered a line that I have recorded.
Yeah,
I just
right.
was like, I need to record the last one because I want to listen to that again.
Yeah, right.
There's just some fucking brilliant writing and great voice performances.
Yeah, the partner I love, like Sarah, the partner that you get partnered up with, who is all of your access has been revoked from everything, so you can't actually do anything. You have to be partnered with someone. Yeah, exactly. And she's not happy. Like he puts you on a group call, the police chief, and she doesn't realize that you're on the call as well. She's like, "You're not fucking putting me with him." It's like starts shit talking you. So it starts off on a really good foot.
Can I just jump in again and ask, because from the trailer and from what I'm seeing of the gameplay, while it's a beautiful looking game, it's linear in the sense that
Super
these
linear.
are like rooms and cases and kind of like not missed, but like it's not an adventure game. You're not journeying around and doing the travel. It's like it's just kind of taking you from moment to moment.
Correct.
Is that right?
Yeah, absolutely. So you can see here some of the investigative sort of gameplay, and you're about to see the main mechanic in the game here, which is what's it called, Pete? It's re something.
Yeah,
we'll see it on the screen in a second.
I couldn't
but,
tell you. It's sci-fi jargon.
It's a device that can. I mean, there is Icarite, which I remember, which is that's what allows you to be able to be eternal. Like your Icarite is the essence of something in your mind that has your soul reconstructor. Okay, it's not that sci-fi bullshit.
Yeah,
What weird jargon.
It's literally just time dilation back
Gotcha.
and forward.
Yep,
That's
yep,
all
But
it
it's
does.
not a projection. You are actually
moving time.
moving like so. One of the mechanics here is that you can pick things up and have them like that were there. I don't know.
You can collect. So in the example here, where there's been a fire, right?
Yep.
You can rewind time to before the fire and collect a piece of evidence, physical evidence, that was destroyed by the fire.
Yeah, okay,
Correct.
right.
And-
So
And
cool.
keep it. It's not just
And-
like you can see it like detective vision.
I mean,
you
you're not supposed to keep them
Yeah.
because it's a crime scene. But
Chief's not gonna-
but-
Chief's
There's a little bit of like the
Kara
Minority
style,
Report
yeah.
style of like
Yeah, yeah.
don't
Just
affect the.
don't put it in the report.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean that is the story, and again,
Yes.
it's linear. This game is very much about like the story that it's telling
Yeah.
you, and just
Yeah.
like letting it wash over you, isn't it?
For sure.
I get-
And
yeah, I just-
so
I asked it 'cause-
once you find a point in the thing where you can go in here, it'll sort of that golden bubble you walk inside it. You can see here, and then you can find something to focus on to be able to go back further because you can't just rewind time from the start
Sure.
right back. You have to go through there like
That in
beats.
itself is the puzzle mechanic. that you
Correct.
kind of,
Yep.
And really like the narrative gating.
It's the narrative because that's
it's not.
there's conversation points for every single option here. Yeah,
Sure.
yeah.
I would say it's not even that much of a puzzle game, right?
No.
Like it's just it's you're walking through a narrative,
Yes.
and it is using some really cool video game design
Yes.
to just drip feed that story to you. So yeah, you know you're going to step into the bubble and you're just going to have to look at a thing. That's not a puzzle.
Yeah.
But then it tells you more story because you accomplished
Correct.
that.
And it's still early days. Like I'm only 2 or 3 hours in, but there is a lot of dialogue options. And it will. It's like it was one of the first memes that I did on the show when I started
We'll
producing
remember that.
Pocket. Yeah, the Telltale sort of thing.
Yeah.
That's what I was looking for, Telltale. Where it tells you almost every single dialogue choice you make, there's a thing that pops up. It's not all the time, but there's so many of them where it pops up and says that's affected something.
Yeah.
Like
okay.
that's unlocked, and so I think potentially I don't want to, I'm not that far into it, but I'm gonna play it again because I think there's probably the branching
endings.
narrative
Yeah.
of those different choices potentially are pretty large.
I've had dialogue options pop up that were grayed out and then
Correct.
resolved to
you can select them.
accessible
Yeah.
because of decisions that I'd made
Yep.
prior.
Yep.
So I don't know if it always shows you
It
when
just-
you're
it-
not
sorry.
able to do something.
It's Unreal Engine 5 and it just looks crazy.
Yeah.
It looks so like to be able to do this and you with Q and E on the keyboard, you go back and forth. It's like playing a tech demo.
Yeah.
And but there's so much good narrative and voice acting to go with it.
It's really well paced as well because these like cases or this crime scene that you've walked into is probably like 40 minutes a game. Maybe
This
a little,
first one, yeah, I think so.
Maybe
yeah.
maybe a little less, but it's like
Depends on like there's points throughout this process where you can walk
Explore a
around
bit.
and press everything. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, and that's
Yeah.
what I'm one of those gamers. Like,
You click on the bike?
I click
Yeah.
to examine every single thing where I can because I want to know like because
Yeah.
and this has the. And by the way, huge fan of LA Noire, right? This has the LA Noire, like you pick something up and you can turn it around and like
rotate shit.
yeah,
Yeah.
all
That was
that
the
sort
thing
of-
you liked about the game.
No, but it just like
Totally.
it's this is you going to your apartment. The scenery and like the
Just
you
immersion
said
kind
like
of through.
the world building
Yeah.
and like the I think you said something before, but like just the vibe of this entire thing. It's so what's the word? It's like so well thought out and like
consider.
Nothing's missing. Nothing was rushed. It's like
it's an intricately and incredibly detailed. Every space you're in has heaps of detail.
Obviously, being linear, the way that it is linear, you can do that. Like
absolutely, but it also allows itself to, through its music and through its pacing, just like riding an elevator has a weight to it, just because of the it just gives you this feel, and most of it I think is audio design.
Yeah.
But the fact that you're in these really detailed worlds and it's just laying all the weight of the mood of this city on you.
You're seeing
really
here,
effectively. It makes everything feel so cohesive and tied together. Yeah.
I mean, this is the evidence board. This is how you sort of connect clues from that first crime scene.
I found this really interesting.
This was really interesting because obviously he's doing this in his apartment with bottles, empty bottles, but obviously they've got you're rearranging them. You can put them wherever on this grid.
I do this at home too.
And what's that, sorry?
I do this at home too.
With empty bottles.
Yeah.
And when you're solving murders.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to rearrange
just
the
have a lot
living
of
room.
bottles.
He's
Yeah,
like,
okay.
now
That's
this
fair
bottle of
enough.
wine is the couch, and this bottle of wine,
They're all empty.
this one's not empty yet.
So this also it talks you through this. You know what this is? This is very Alan Wake 2 with the board.
Yeah,
in terms of
right.
how it like it's walking you through story beats by you arranging things, which is exactly what Alan Wake 2 does.
Yeah, this is the most puzzly part of the game where you're linking
Yeah,
all of the
because you can get it
clues
wrong.
that you found.
You can get it
in
wrong.
the crime scene.
Yeah, okay, right.
So this is actually where you start having to think about what you just experienced.
Yeah.
Is there an element of, in a good way, like a rinse and repeat in terms of, you talk about that rewind mechanic you have, that I saw like the little X-ray device you have as well.
Yep.
Does it feel
There's
like...
a black light in this too.
Does it feel like mission progression is...
call it
Obviously
it's
the
UV.
cases are going to get more complex. Does it feel like that's predominantly the game? It's rinse and repeat. It's do a case, solve it,
That's what it
unravel a
feels
bit
like.
more
But
of story.
there are two big narrative threads that
Yes.
it teases early on.
Yep.
There's this like political turmoil, and it's attached to the creators of like the
shell...
the shell
technology,
immortality
yeah.
thing.
Yeah, basically, like, that's the Blade Runner of it. It's like the Tyrell
Yeah.
Corp.
Yeah.
And then there is, and this isn't a spoiler, it is in that opening scene, like this femme fatale character, who it's unclear whether that's like a lover from a former part of your life or is attached to maybe to the shell that you're in now, or
right.
there's like this mystery attached to this other character, and the fact that you are not responding to your own body.
Yes.
That just adds like, so there's these two big story threads happening in tandem.
Yeah.
That make the whole thing just really intriguing and is why I'm enjoying that the game is quite simple.
Yes. Yeah.
In
So
how
you
you
can-
play it,
you
because
can be absorbed in
you're
that
you're
and-
just trying to follow these narratives.
I think what you said about the weight of this world feeling like it's there and on you as you move through it, it reminded me a lot of the latest Batman movie, like the Rob Pattinson movie, like just how that world is set out, how it all feels when you watch it. It's like that's Gotham, like that feels like Gotham. I don't know what they've done to do it, but like this is this place. It's hard to put into words. It's like it feels so weighted, I guess.
It's just like it knows its tone and has nailed it, and that's like, I feel like that's easier to do with film than it is in game.
Yeah.
I don't know why that is. I think just like because that
Well, games are unpredictable. You can't predict how someone's going to play the game.
you can't predict how someone's going to play the game. This game, you don't move quickly. Like it does a lot of things to help you get into the feel of the game.
Yeah.
But like you can be thrown off so easily by just like the suspension of disbelief, or the what's it called when you look into someone's eyes and they're fake?
Uncanny Valley.
There's like the uncanny valleyness of video games that this doesn't have, and I mean it's benefiting from being on like a really modern engine and looking as beautiful as it does. But it just, I mean, look at that. Like that isn't even a framed shot. You're just looking a little bit down.
I'm stoked you guys are enjoying
now
playing it, or that you're getting enough out of it to not feel like you're just playing an interactive movie. Because like I saw the trailers for this and thought like, this looks great. This is totally tonally what I want to play. But I was a little concerned there wasn't enough game in it, that it was going to feel a little too passive. And I'm glad from what you're saying, and especially like that it's doing the work, it's doing the heavy lifting of the world building, but it's also letting you still feel invested.
You can see here there's some conversation options.
Well, yeah, you've got control over these story beat moments, at least, or at least feeling like that.
Really quick, sorry, Gus. There's a line here from Sarah.
I can't hear it or read it.
James, you stupid C.
Oh, it's a C word.
It was I heard it. I was shocked, and the character was shocked.
You were mid nose blow when it happened.
I was mid nose blow. It was like Ruby was in the room with me. It was crazy. And he actually, I don't know if it's in the footage.
And a sailor's in the mouth like a sailor.
I don't know if it's in the footage, but he like rouses on her after, and it's like a really nice moment. It's just well written.
Yeah.
And what you're saying about you worried it was going to be too passive. I think the control you do have, and it mostly being narrative, mean like I'm getting a lot out of it. Like
I don't want to play it in VR.
It's like it's like a 6-hour experience as well.
Really?
Yeah, it's not big, and it's not full. Like it's.
Can I ask how much it was?
I think it was like $35
$35.
Yeah,
that's really well valued.
Yeah.
Full disclosure, I got Santa Code.
Yeah.
And it's the only reason I knew the game existed.
I
PR reached out and they're like, "Do you want to play this game?"
I've seen a bit of hype.
I'd seen one trailer, which is a YouTube algorithm to me last week.
Yeah, I'm a bit disconnected from it all.
Yeah.
But as soon as I started playing it, I was seeing people talk about it and noticing people.
I had a little bit of hype. A few YouTubers said like, keep an eye on this one. Yeah, I'm stoked at 6 hours. I'm actually really going to give this a shot now because I didn't even think there was walking around camera movement. I thought from the trailer it just looks like it could almost be like a click through mist.
Well, it's such a cinematic looking game.
Yeah,
you would forgive it for just like walking you through the cutscene. I will say, Nitrotex is KBMing it or controller fine. I think the game would actually feel better with a controller in terms of how cinematic the flicking.
You want to lift your head up slowly.
Flicking a mouse around is the only thing that is like, oh, I'm playing a video game.
I had the similar experience, and it's not. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just the way they've done the engine, or the way they've done the code. But the mouse felt really jerky, especially when you try and move it slow. Because I was trying to like.
There's smoothing on the mouse, which makes it feel jerky because it's weird that it's changing on you. Is what I think.
Take your pills, Josh. You're clearly not.
Yeah. I found I dropped the sensitivity all the way down.
Yeah.
And it was fine after that.
Yeah, okay.
In fact, this footage you're seeing now is after I changed those settings. Because the other thing I'll say is obviously my footage is in ultra wide. Like I have an ultra wide monitor at home, and the HUD freaked out a little bit on mine.
I had the same thing.
I had to like you basically have to
FOV tweak and
I didn't have to FOV tweak. I just had to change the resolution in game and then change it back, and then it fixed. Even some of the footage early on, you would have seen like some of the UIs cut off when you're using the rewind mechanic as well. But this is part of like he's out of sync with his body. It's very Altered Carbon-y as well. If you've seen that series, I haven't seen too much of it, but like he's not funcking, and it's another.
I hope for a short narrative it pays off, because then it's a lot of you're both talking about a lot of awesome setup. 2 hours into a 6 hour game. I'm like, I hope it doesn't.
It feels like it couldn't. It feels like it could. Like at this point, it couldn't possibly not stick the landing, right? Like because it's just the writing has been so on point the whole
time.
Actually,
I love that. I didn't realize there was the immortality thing, and now I'm like, oh, the title. Yeah, I just thought it was just trying to be a pulpy title for like a detective noir novel, but it's like that immortality shell mechanic. That's really interesting.
In the game, they call it final death, because when you die, you just get a new shell, right?
Yeah, of course.
And so when you first go to that first murder scene with the guy hanging in front of the burning tree, it's only when you go up to him and you start investigating that you realize actually his Icarite's completely fried. Like he's gone. Like,
I'm gonna play this.
And it's in the first 10 minutes.
35 minutes.
Yeah. But your partner,
10,
Sarah, your partner, the cop partner starts freaking out. Like she's like, doesn't know what to do.
Didn't
She's
know
like,
that could happen.
because
Yeah.
they're used to
never seen a
investigating.
final
They
death
investigate
before.
these murders, but
And it's-
they're not really dead. You're just there to recover the Echerite, and it's
And move them into another
Talking
shell.
back to the world building and stuff,
Yeah.
like this whole concept is really cool and interesting and Blade Runner-y in that you're walking around the halls of your apartment after you get out of the lift and there's like clippings from newspapers and stuff that, and it's like and big ads for like, it's compulsory to do X amount of exercise because you need to look after the shell, right?
Yes,
the government owns your body, and therefore you need to be doing.
Yes.
If you're found to be not doing what the government requires of you for your body, then you face the
it's
consequences,
just-
and it's like
it's just
it lays it
Philip
on
K.
so
Dick.
beautifully.
Yeah.
Completely.
Part of that as well is that you're investigating some of these guys are massive businessmen with like the rich of the rich in this world don't have to worry about any of that because they can just buy a new body.
Yeah.
It's
an awesome
it's a really
concept.
cool concept.
Yeah.
I'm having
Very
a good
cool game.
time with it. Yeah.
It feels like lower class people are growing the bodies, and upper class people are just taking
That's
them.
why
right?
you're the detective. You're working it
Potentially,
out.
I don't
Little
know.
bit of that going on.
I think there's going to be some of that for sure.
Yeah.
Cool.
For sure. Yeah.
Very keen to check that out.